Okay, time to get into a cheaper option to get into HeroQuest. So now the base game itself is actually like $100 and everything, so that might be a turnoff to a lot of people. But here we got like what is called, as you can see, First Light. So this one is only $50, so you can get it at your local gaming store, Target, Walmart. I'm sure like if you can't find it at your big box store, definitely, and I say definitely go to your local gaming store and get one and order it. I'm sure you could also order it off Amazon or whatever. So, but anyway, you could, like I said, get this for $80, and this would be like an introductory to the game for like pretty much like half the price. And as you can see right here, on the back, it shows you pretty much what you get and everything. So, it gives a description, like, and it showcases like all the miniatures and like the board and stuff and everything. So it also does like have a QR code that you can use to get like what's the app that's where you can actually play online for free. So as we get into this, you can see like what you're actually getting. So you do get like your quest book. So it does showcase in the potions. We'll go over the potions real quick. Gives you like a little description and everything. Yeah, that was for Sargon's, so I'm kind of like spoiling stuff. So, but here is like the miniatures that you get, and like pretty much like the cardboard cutouts and stuff for like the actual furniture and like doors and secret doors, like traps and stuff. So then you pretty much get into the description of how to play the game. Then you get like a message from mentor, quest map guide, and then you actually get from there you get into like the actual quest. So I'm not going to actually show them, so that way I try to keep spoilers down to a minimum. So like you do got like a quick conclusion, and then you do got like a description of like all the monsters and everything. So in my playthroughs of this game, you'll hear me say like call it like the Chaos Sorcerer and Chaos Warriors, because this game was released back in like 89 and 90, so late 80s, early 90s, and they were known as like a Chaos Sorcerer and Chaos Warriors respectively. So, but in Avalon Hill's iteration, when it was released back in 2021, at least the base game, they became known as Dread Warriors and Dread Sorcerer. So you do have like blank sheets for like the dungeons that you can make your own. Gives you like a good guide for like stuff that you can use to be able to design your own adventure and everything. You actually got like the good old like rule book. And so like you got like a pretty much like a brief story and everything. Then you got like the pretty much like the object of the game and the Zargon heroes. Good old table of contents for info, like you can see here, like info for Zargon, info for heroes. So kind of quickly going through this, as you can tell, like for the rule book, like I kind of mentioned it before. So you got like the flip out, so we got for the description. So kind of like there we go. You got like the good old logo that's on like some of the cards. You got descriptions of like the 4 base heroes. Now these four were in the original release back in 89, 90, and so they do have like with Avalon Hill has released like a bunch of new characters for the game. They like in my playthroughs I use the rogue instead of the dwarf, but I do have the barbarian, elf, and wizard. They also do have like the druid and the warlock and the bard. So then like I'm not 100% sure on the druid, but I do have the bard, like the rogue I mentioned. They also got the Knight of Elithorn. So it kind of gives you this. Getting back to this, we got like the description of the characters, the actual character sheets descriptions. You get like a branch note from Zargon to the heroes. For this one, you can start playing. Goes into depth on how to like actually play the game with this rulebook and everything. So this is kind of like a quick overview of the rulebook. And so like you got like a component reference and everything for this stuff, and then quest is calling. So that's the rule book. Like I showcased, here's like the character sheets. So you got like a bunch where you can use for the characters that you get. You get like in a sense like your DM screen for Zargon. and like it gives you like all the notes and stuff that you need to be able to quick reference stuff. And combat dice, it goes through like a quick reference for like the monsters and stuff that you're going to be fighting. Now what's different is, as you can see, is like the base game, you don't get the actual dragon, but you get the dragon here. So like what's kind of cool is like if you get into this, you can also like use this, maybe get the base game, or get the base game first, then get this, and then quite possibly use the dragon as like maybe like a home, what's called homebrew, meaning like you make your own. So you got like getting back to this now, you get your punch outs and everything for the game that you can use. And now this stuff, you can see you get like a punch outs for like the actual monsters, but like in the base game you get the actual like a plastic or resin, pretty much plastic, but there are resin miniatures that you can get. But like that's why this is cheaper, is because you get like a bunch of punch outs for the monsters and like the furniture, whereas like the actual game itself that costs twice as much as this, you're getting plastic monsters, plastic heroes, plus you're also getting plastic furniture and everything. So here, as you can see, we got the actual board. So it's kind of like 6-sided, whereas like the board for the this one wanted this kind of stick and everything. So we got the actual like standard board, as I'll showcase like the standard layout for the actual board that you get in the game. And you got like a flip side that you can use, that kind of like acts as a kind of like a bonus one that you could do. So that's the board, and this one folds out 6 times and everything. So, and as I'm folding it up backwards, so that's the board. And now we can sit here. You got like the kind of like a placeholder for this. You can see that like you actually get the typical 6 dice for like combat and everything. So the way the dice are is like the skulls are like basically like a successful attack. White shields are like for the heroes to be able to defend. So like monsters roll skulls. The white shields defend the skulls. The black shields are the monster's ability to create the defend the skulls and everything. So like the way these dice are set up is you get the 1 black skull, you get 2 black shields, I should say, instead of black skull, 2 white shields, and then like 3 skulls and everything for that. And then you actually get like the 2 movement dice for the heroes, because they roll 2 of those for movement dice. Monsters actually don't get like dice. As I sit here and actually open this, so before I go over the cards, 4 hero figurines, plastic, and then you got the dragon figurine, and the rest, as you saw for the monsters, were all like cardboard punch outs. So you got like character sheets that let you like, see their stats and everything, their attack dice, defend dice, body, mind points, movement, 2 red dice, their starting weapon, starting armor. Then you can get like reference cards. Then you get like into like the actual like other stuff and everything. So I'll actually flip them over. So you got the equipment cards for like the stuff that you can actually buy. So like as I get rid of the chaos spells, or yeah, and even these were like as I just said, chaos spells. These are actually dread spells and everything. So like for instance, like you can buy a battle axe for like 450 gold. Great for the barbarian. So these are like the dread spells that like spellcasters, monster spellcasters can cast. These cards right here, as you can see, are like reference cards for the monsters. These right here are artifacts that like the characters can get. Like that's the treasure card. Treasure card. For instance, okay. For instance, like Warren's armor. It's pretty much like stuff that you can find in the actual game, Talisman of Lore. So you're getting like artifacts that you find in the actual base game itself. So like treasure cards that show the case of the wandering monster. And you also got like right here a gem worth 35 gold. So you either have like positive ones where you get gems, gold coins, or potions, or you do have like hazards, and that you lose a body point, or wandering monsters that like you have to fight. So you do have the base hero spells and everything that are based on the elements. So now the way the base game works is that like the elf gets one set of they can, for instance, get the air spells. The wizard gets the other three. So now in my playthrough though, with the actual game, is I have all the expansions too. So the elf actually has elf spells. So I actually gave the wizard all four sets, four elemental sets of spells, and then I gave the elf spells and everything, three of those to kind of like help beef up the kit, like the party and everything. So that of course that's just how I'm doing it and everything. So you can put these back. So you don't necessarily have to like do it like I'm doing. You can do like the base where you give the elf one set of the spells and the wizard the other three. But again, this is like kind of like an introductory into the game. So as you can see, kind of putting everything back, reboxing the stuff. And this is why, like I said before, this is ultimately cheaper, is you're getting like the punch outs of the monsters and stuff instead of the actual plastic figurines. So let's see here, DM screen, or in this case the Zargon screen, Rulebook, Quest book, character sheets. We got the board, and then that is pretty much HeroQuest First Light. Now this was just recently released and everything, so now there is kind of like a big tizzy that people are having, like the front art being kind of like AI generated. So with AI, I'm still kind of on the fence and everything about whether like because I can see both the positives and negatives, but for this video it's not necessarily about the AI art and everything. So I know there's a lot of people that like are up in arms about the AI art, especially like the actual like digital creators and the actual artists and everything. So like I want to kind of like kind of err on the side of them and everything, but the whole point of this is like to showcase the first light box set. So now of course that like with the AI generated art and everything, people might be turned off on that. Like I'm not spending like $50 to get this and everything. I'll actually spend the extra 50 and the whole 100 to get the actual base game. So to each his own. So I'm just here to kind of showcase like, hey, look, here's like a cheaper option if you're kind of on the fence on getting into board games and you have heard great things about HeroQuest. So this is again the First Light, which would be a decent introduction for half the price into the actual board game of HeroQuest.